And there's every indication that nation states are embracing it. Jerome Powell says it's a digital asset. Christina Lagarde says it's a digital asset. The head of the SEC taught a class on it. I think that people understand it's not a threat to the dollar, by the way. What's going to happen is the U.S. dollar is going to be the world reserve currency, and it's going to run on billions and billions of mobile devices. And the digital asset that underlies that currency is going to be Bitcoin.
Michael Saylor's telling you that Bitcoin is not a threat to the US dollar, but instead, Bitcoin is going to be embraced by the United States government, and it's going to be the digital asset that backs the US dollar. What's your take on this? Is Bitcoin going to be that global reserve? If you want to hear more from Michael Saylor, you can check him out at Saylor on Twitter. And as you see here, he's still DCAing, dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, with MicroStrategy now owning 1 out of every 150 Bitcoin that will ever exist. Definitely mind-blowing. As far as what percentage that Michael Saylor will ever hold, it's 0.667% that he'll ever hold of the Bitcoin existing supply. Remember, there's only 21 million Bitcoin. And with some latest news, JP Morgan CEO says that government should seize private property to build wind and solar farms. This is legit news. You see this right here. The Telegraph is reporting on this as well. Jamie Dimon speaking on this. Jamie Dimon saying that they should just seize all private property, private farmland, any land that they deem necessary that they need to build solar and wind farms. You should be sounding the alarm because you definitely don't know what to make of this, but all in all, this is definitely not a free state. They can just come take your private property, but there's one piece of property that you can hold where nobody can take from you as long as you custody it yourself. And once again, that's Bitcoin. And with that, what's happening, Crypto Crew? Sean's coming back at you with another cryptocurrency video. We have a jam-packed video today, so getting straight to it. An update from CryptoCon. For the past few weeks, Bitcoin has been hovering around the range of 28,000, and the volatility has been reduced to a minimum. So what he's saying here is if you look at the previous bear cycle in 2019, we bottomed out, then we sort of traded sideways before a blast up, traded sideways, blast up. Back in June of 2020, sideways, blast up. Mind you, this right here was after a halving, so we were getting the price suppressed regardless, but we had this pullback in the bear market. This December of 2022 and April of 2023 is more similar to these two price targets here back in 2019. So if history's any indication, we'll blast up to over the $30,000 threshold. How high will we go? Well, time will tell. Bitcoin bros are probably saying between 40 and 50K before we have some type of cool down. And you see this here, this 10% rule you see from 2017's peak. You got the 0.5 pullback at the Fibonacci extension, and then the extension above that to that 10%. And if we hit that again, and when we come up here, that'll take us, if we zoom into the price action, that'll take us once again between that $40,000 and $50,000 threshold. So all in all, Bitcoin and crypto is definitely looking bullish. Take a look at the Bitcoin price chart. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to see here. The red lines here, they denote macro horizontal support and resistance. This orange line here is Bitcoin forming a new bottom and then putting in higher lows and higher lows. And then we see this downwards resistance level that we broke out of. This is just a few things to take in mind. We've showed you this. We see an inverse head and shoulders pattern playing out. Technical target is up to this horizontal support around that $42,000 threshold. That's something to definitely keep in mind. Now, how is it going to look for Bitcoin to get back up there, and how soon can we make it there? And so if we look at this macro support right here, the latest it would take is November of this year, November of 2023. But if we break through this $28.5 to $29,000 threshold, there's going to be a major run up to this technical target up here because there's no confluence here. There's not much traffic here looking back in the charts. So keep this in mind. All in all, that $40,000 plus threshold could be what's next in the cards for Bitcoin and crypto. Now, before we leave, Lynette Zhang For those that know her, she has been heavily into the gold markets over the past few decades. She hasn't been that favorable of Bitcoin, but Lynette is changing her tone. So with that, let's hear what she has to say in her previous interview with Stansberry Research.
My mind is open. The challenge that I have with Bitcoin is simply that I only see its functionality in one place, and nobody has been able to expand that. So in other words, what I think is really good about Bitcoin is you can hold a lot of them on a little thumb drive and stick it in your pocket and go anywhere in the world. I think that is a great advantage, but I don't see any other functionality for Bitcoin. Whereas with gold and silver as well, physical, not digital, physical, it's used in every single sector of the global economy. So therefore, it has this broad base of functionality. I mean, it's used in the financial system, but it's also used in medicine, in electronics, in space travel, in art, in food, etc., and more. So when I'm going into a fight, I want something that has the most function. I don't want to go in with a teeny weeny little Swiss Army knife. I want to go in with a bazooka and a cannon and a tank. And so for me, that's the difference between the two. But if anybody can show me other functions, because I can buy that $8 million coin and take it anywhere in the world too. So I can move a lot of wealth in a small package. Maybe not as much as Bitcoin. I mean, it kind of depends. But I just, please, if I saw it as a tool of barter, if I saw it in different functions, then I would feel better about it, because I do think some are going to survive. And Wall Street has really adopted Bitcoin. That could very well be the one that survives, but I don't think it takes you outside of the system.
And there you have it from Lynette Zhang. And as you see, she's saying that Wall Street has adopted Bitcoin and that she believes that Bitcoin could be the one that survived. This is definitely a tone change. And she's showing that Bitcoin does have some value. She's telling you that you can actually move more Bitcoin around easier than what you can do gold. Think about it. If you have $1 million worth of gold coins and $1 million worth of Bitcoin, and you have to move from one country to the next, what's going to be easier to move with you? It's a no-brainer. And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. If you guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate the support. With that, that's all I have for you today. I'm out.